Well, what an amazing treat it is to have the two of you here. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Jonah, Jed and the Valentine. Welcome to CKUA Studio A.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're super excited to be here.
Yeah, it's such a treat. And as you know, we've been fans for a long time here at CKUA. So having you performing live here in our space and here on the Hidden Track podcast, it really is a dream come true. And I got a zillion questions for you. But first, a compliment. You're so well attired. You look incredible in the garb that you've brought.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking the time to, really do it up properly.
Of course, yeah.
And, I can't help but think, I feel just like a tiny bit underdressed. Like I could really stand to sort of like snazz it up possibly in some way. I don't know how that would work.
I think we got you covered.
What? I am becloaked.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We are magical.
Wow.
It's a very nice cloak. It's a lot nicer than mine.
It's so beautiful. You're so generous.
Of course.
It's very cozy.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to sweat too much in mine currently, but...
You seem cool as a cucumber to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, I feel extravagantly happy to be wearing this cloak and chatting with you guys. And I can't help but notice you do have a certain aesthetic. I'd love to talk about the song that you just played, of course, to start off the session. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your approach to this kind of look? Where does this come from for you guys?
To be honest, I think both of us are just big nerds and we really like the kind of medieval vibe. And we were chatting earlier about how not a lot of what we do with our dress is very historically accurate, but it's fun and it's a vibe, So I think we just wanted to really embody that and have, I guess, just like a fun kind of image to be able to pour into this album that we released in August. And we've just never stopped.
Right. It's kind of like letting some of yourselves out into the world, like in a visual sense.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, because we are huge nerds. Like I love Lord of the Rings. I love everything fantasy. I play D&D every week. Huge card game, Magic the Gathering person. It's a big part of my life. I've accepted that I will always be a nerd. When we were looking for inspiration for this last album of, what kind of like distinct visual style do we want to go with? It just felt natural. It was something that like we just were already pretty interested in, and it was fun to explore with music. So
yeah, you guys are not like poser nerds or amateur nerds. You work at this thing. You're committed.
Yeah, I DM every Thursday. I'm looking at the meta for card games and stuff. But yeah, anyways,
the next
that's
step is the proper LARPing. I feel like.
Oh yes, live action role playing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's next.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the band's evolution as this conversation continues. You guys actually invited your community to join you in this in these shenanigans at the album release show, right?
Yeah, and honestly, it was kind of a last-minute invitation for people to do so, and we had so many people dressing up. It was amazing. We had princesses and monks and goblins, and like people really went hard on the medieval dress, and that was amazing to see. It felt like a really cool kind of time warp at our album release.
Yeah, it's always a little awkward when like I'm in my full Frodo Baggins kind of fit, and then like no one else in the crowd is. So it was just such a fun night. Like to be totally honest with you, it was so cool to see the community that I think came together and was just having a fun kind of silly time and singing along, and I was really happy with that night.
Yeah, well, I feel like the band really is about community too, it's about the two of you and your relationship naturally, but the way that you bring other musicians in and involve the audience, and you've really toured far and wide in the last year or so as well. I wondered about this record. I know that the Awake album, there was a kind of almost a thematic approach to how the songcraft came together for that one. What about for this one? Was there something that kind of like tied together what you were... I mean, you guys are very prolific. I know not every song that you write sees the light of day. So as far as what you wanted to select for this latest album, was there a kind of razor to cut through everything for you?
That's a really good question. I think there's a few different like components to that.
Yeah.
I think firstly, like we record everything at home, and through that process, I think, of recording and producing, it's really only the songs that we like by the end of it that will make it to the next project.
Right.
You know, I think there's like a John Mayer quote where he's like, sometimes songs just kind of die on the table, you know, where, you know, you start putting in a lot of time into a track, and then you love it, and then after about the, you know, 50th time working on it, pulling up the project, you're like, I don't know if it's hitting the same. So like naturally there is like that process of filtration, I guess, of, you know, putting the songs down and realizing that maybe they just won't fit. And then kind of what rises out of it are the songs that we just want to share. And it's more so a question of like, okay, how do we want to order these songs? And if not, like, are we going to plan for a later release instead, where maybe it thematically kind of sits a bit better? So I feel very grateful that we have a process that we found that kind of naturally works itself out, you know, for which songs to pick. And
it's like our subconscious kind of takes over, and you know, deep down we know which ones we want to have on the project, and the ones that just don't end up working out are the ones that we subconsciously just didn't want to work out.
Yeah.
I find it really charming that, you know, it's so homespun. I mean, the creative core of the band and the recording studio are all within the same, like under the same roof.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So from like inception to complete finished product, and of course you bring in some of your friends as well to join you, but it's all happening in your home. Like that's truly stunning.
Yeah, thank you. It's honestly a really nice thing to be able to do, and the only thing that we've really outsourced for is the mastering, and being able to record at home and to kind of have control over how many takes we do and when we do our takes, and not having to worry about being on someone else's timeline or anything, just really kind of opens up a lot of doors for like, okay, we didn't like that take that we did the other day. Let's just redo it. And if it takes 500 tries, then we can just keep doing it. And we can take 500 takes of it.
Yeah. And you're still a couple somehow after all that.
Somehow, you know. But honestly, I think that being a couple almost helps the process, because we can be we can be understanding with each other, and we kind of know, we can pick up on the clues of like, okay, I think we need to take a break. Let's come back to it. And because it's at home, like I said, we can just come back to it whenever we want to. There's no expectation of how long things need to take or when things need to happen. If it's like business hours, like if hypothetically we wake up at 2 a.m. and we're like, I feel the inspiration, then we can just go and act on it, you know? So it's really wonderful to be able to have it all so close to home.
Yeah, and you have that foundation already. I mean, before you even started making music together, you'd already been a couple for, I don't know, a couple of years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Can you take us back to that moment when you finally realized, like, wait a minute, we can make music together?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It was, we were long distance for about a year. I was just outside of Calgary, and Marie was here in Edmonton. And there's a couple of times that, you know, we toyed with the idea of writing a song together. And so we did. And we were at my family's place over the summer, and we just played the song for them to show them, like, oh, check this out. You know, at the time I was in like a different musical group, so that was kind of my main focus. I wasn't really like thinking like, oh yeah, like we're gonna start a new band, we're gonna start a new project. It was like, yeah, this was just a fun thing to do. And it really was, you know, my parents, my sister, and my cousins that came up to us afterwards saying, that was really good. Like, you guys should maybe try to do it a bit more. And we started very incrementally, you know. It was like one song here, and then getting some encouragement. Let's try a couple more. Let's release some
covers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, it just kind of snowballs, and it honestly was for me very therapeutic, I think, to like reconnect with music. And I'm really grateful for Maria for helping me relearn how to have music be like a more natural part of your life. I guess, you know.
That's wonderful.
Not to get too cheesy, but
No, but it's beautiful because, you know, you're playing in the backyard for your family, and you're playing covers, so songs that you love, I'm sure, you know, and playing with the person that you love. Like, this is all really incredible way to get started on a musical project. And I think it shows in everything that you do, you know, like that that rubric has gives rise to such a beautiful sense of tenderness and intimacy and joy and hope in your music. What a journey you guys have been on. Like for the past few years, it must be like a bit dizzying at times, I'm sure. And I know that you do stay grounded, obviously, from what I've observed. But how has it been for you guys? Like, I mean, it's kind of like in this rocket ship ride. How does it feel right now at this stage in your arc?
I feel like it's definitely, like you said, it's been a whirlwind. Like it feels like it really hasn't been that long. I think it's only been about, I guess, 4 years now. I mean, when you put a number on it, it feels a little bit longer, but I don't know. Everything seemed to happen very fast. We posted a cover that we just didn't really think anything of. And then we woke up to, a couple million views within, I think, like a day or two, which was just unreal. And then Rhea March invited us to be on School of Song for Edmonton and Canmore Folk Festivals. And we were like, I remember earlier that year we had been like, our dream is to play Edmonton Folk Fest or Canmore Folk Festival or just get on those stages. And then immediately it was starting to happen and we were like, oh my God, what do we do? And it just seems like year after year, like we released our album and people were listening to it, and just all of these things that, we couldn't have expected in our wildest dreams have been happening. And so I think the best way that we've been able to kind of stay grounded is to just remind ourselves that we worked hard for it and we have to keep working hard for it, and just remembering that it's about the music and not the numbers, and numbers come and go, and so that's been a big kind of recurring thought, I guess, for the both of us, is that we have to get back to the basics of it.
And I think, as sometimes whirlwindy as things can be, I think we're the kind of people that really just go for it and learn by doing, and also sometimes failing,
Sure.
It's
DIY, right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
I was like, I don't know how to mix good, so let's try. And I like to think that every time we try a new song, it's getting a little bit better every time. And I think that's the main thing that I want to take away from our approach is we are just doing it a little bit at a time, and it's really wonderful to have people in your corner that help you take the next leap. Like Rhea March with School of Song, and like you guys, having us on here and being so supportive and everything.
Huge
it really
fans.
it does make a world of a difference for us to see that and be like, okay, let's keep going.
Right.
There's
Someone
something.
believes in us.
Yeah.
So
It's such a cool approach too, because every time you start something new, it's an adventure and an experiment, right? Like you're learning as you go and you're creating sort of necessarily as you go, which is so cool. And I mean, this new record is a really beautiful compliment to the debut album, and it's wonderful to hear this music here in this studio. Could you tell us a little bit about that first song that you played to start off the session?
Yeah, that song is called "Oh My My My." That tune was born from a memory of us camping with our friends just at Two Jack, Maine. Wow. And it was such a fun trip, to the point where when you're having a really great time, sometimes you think to yourself, oh man, this is going to be a great memory. And then you feel this thing called pre-nostalgia, I guess. It's and it can sometimes, if you get stuck in it, you don't enjoy the moment. And so that song is just about that experience and that feeling, and trying to be present in the moment, and then remembering it fondly, I guess.
Right.
There's many stories that were from that trip that didn't make it into the song, like people saying that maybe we were a little bit too loud at 7:30. It wasn't too bad, but they were in their underwear, and we were like, whoa, okay, hi. Or like the ranger literally coming to our tent at night, because it was one of those things where we were whispering at first, and then we started talking a little bit louder, and then we were talking normally until we were laughing, and the ranger was like, hey guys, like, this looks like a really big happy family, but like, just so you know, you're in lot 13. I could hear you in lot 1. So you're the loudest 10 on the ground. Let's bring it down. And that's an actual line in the song. So
Jed the Valentine, you're just too wild.
I know. I don't know what it was at that time. I think we were just having such a great time. But
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
yeah, so that song has a lot of personal ties to us.
Well, that's so wonderful to hear. And it makes me curious to know a bit more about the music that you're sharing with us in this session, too. Can you tell us a little bit about the other material that we're hearing today?
Yeah, the second song that we played was Rocky Mountain Carry Me, which is another, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's a classic. That one is very much also inspired by camping, and I guess we chose 2 songs that were pretty good to put back to back. They're like similar kind of, I don't know, there's just like this really wonderful feeling being out in the wild and being able to enjoy, especially our province. It's such a beautiful place to be in, and the first few years of COVID especially, we had very regular camping trips with our friends, and they're just such fond memories, and that song is really all about just like, you know, not showering for 5 days and like hanging out in the lake and cooking hot dogs every night and like just forgetting about the outside world and enjoying where you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that song.
You guys did a lot. I mean, you've been all over the province too as a band just in the last year or two. Like, it's really quite stunning. And I had a chance to chat with you a little bit after you wrapped up your summertime ramblings of 2025. And you guys have played practically every festival there was, and a bunch of other stuff too. And you mentioned that you've sort of been asked to play at a lot of weddings as of late as well. Can you tell us a bit about that? What's that experience like, playing at somebody's wedding?
It's cool. I feel like, you know, it makes sense because we talk about our relationship a lot, and we write those songs about our relationship that, you know, naturally I feel like other couples are like, oh my gosh, like, or, you know, very commonly people will see us play on like a first date, or like maybe even when they propose or something. We've had a couple people, you know, say, oh my gosh, we saw you at this place, and then, you know, he proposed this weekend or something. So we really want it. Your music means a lot. So it feels really special to be, you know, asked to be included in that kind of special day for everybody. Wow. And, you know, sometimes it's, you know, all over the map. Sometimes, you know, we're playing totally unplugged in front of everybody. Sometimes they have like stages or whatever. So I don't know. It's just a fun time, and, you know, weddings are just a really great happy energy, I find.
And it's always a different experience, every single one.
Oh, yeah.
And do they ask you to play certain songs, like your own songs, or do they say, we want you to learn, you know, The Lady in Red by Krista Berg or something? Like, how does it go?
I mean, usually the people that are asking us to play want to hear our original songs, which is so cool and so wild to, I mean, even for one that we got booked for this upcoming summer, we were asked to play a song that's unreleased that we had just posted on our Instagram, I think days before the request had come in to book us. And that was unreal to see that someone, I don't know, it was just so cool to have that experience of like someone resonating with our songs so much that they want us to play them at their wedding.
You're like, boy, we better finish this song.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of the time we do get covers, but I think that the benefit of posting so many covers online is that people start to see the ones that we've already done, and then it's not a lot of learning new ones, but just kind of refreshing the ones that we've already learned and everything. So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, but no, like, I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder or anything like that.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Planting that seed, perhaps.
We have had the request to do a couple Ben Howard songs, and his guitar playing, that kind of percussive guitar is super. It's definitely not quite our style of playing. So every once in a while we get one that's kind of out of left field, and we're like, that's a beautiful song, but I don't know if we can do justice to it in the way that you want us to, you know?
And the odd request of like, can you play Landslide for our first dance or something? It's like,
are you sure?
Are you absolutely certain? Like, we'll do what you would like, but, you know.
Like, is this an omen?
Perhaps we should check the lyrics a little bit just to make sure, in case you're unaware. So, I don't know. Sometimes there's some discussions there about that.
Yeah, well, it really is special to know that you're being part of, you know, somebody's life in such an important way. Is something that so many will remember forever. And I think probably a lot of it is just, as you say, kind of the way you model your own relationship in your music. And I feel really captivated by the way you blend your voices too. And the two of you tend to sing together a lot. You know, there's different ways of doing it, you know, like the Everly Brothers kind of snaking between each other's notes, or the singers from Lucius tend to sing in unison virtually all the time. How do you guys think about that, blending your voices together?
That's a really great question, because this is another example of like just starting and just doing something, because I was really bad. I was really bad at blending and harmonizing for a long time. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know, like, my brain would just latch onto melodies as opposed to harmonies. And I struggled for the first while when we first started singing together, because my brain was so set on my past experiences of, you're singing the melody, you're the lead singer, you sing the melody. And so it really was a big learning experience for me to learn how to blend and how to harmonize. And I think it was just like, at least for me, an exercise in kind of pulling back the ego that tied with it, because I think sometimes, especially like with my previous experience of like, I'm the front man, I got to have like a big voice to like, fill that space. Suddenly when you're not the only other person there, it's like, why am I holding on to this? Why am I holding on to being this big, in your face kind of a vocal performance, when that's not what's needed for the majority of the song, until, you have those select moments where, you just go for it and it clicks a bit better. But I think, it was good exercise for me to learn that and like allow that space for both the voices. And Maria, like, you can probably attest to this, but you did so much like choir that is.
Yeah, I grew up in children's choir. So I feel like I spent so much of my time in the soprano section singing a third above what everyone else is singing. So I mean, I'm so used to it. It's an interval that I know very well and very dearly. And I think for us, like, blending and harmonizing is a lot more about listening than it is about singing, which I think I learned that pretty strongly in choir, but it's interesting to do it in a duo setting because you are so much more prominent than when you have 6 other people singing the same part as you. So yeah, it's definitely, at this point, I feel like I don't even think about it anymore. It just feels so natural for the two of us.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really is. I mean, it's kind of like music, in a sense, is kind of like a grand metaphor for like subsuming your identity within a larger collective. And that's what you do as music makers, and that's what the audience becomes a part of when they come see you too. So it really is an amazing kind of embodying of a kind of wisdom on a life's journey, really. It's kind of incredible.
It's pretty crazy. Like, as much as you zoom in and zoom out for all aspects of music, that is like such a common thread of like, knowing when you can provide something and knowing when to pull back as well. Right. So, yeah.
And congratulations on all that you've accomplished so far. I can't imagine. Do you have a wish list? Because all of this is something you could never have conjured, but is there something that's like on the bucket list? Like, we want to go play music in Spain, or, is there something that you would love to work towards, and maybe decades from now you can look back and say, yeah, I did that?
That's a really good question. I think, I don't know. I think I would love to keep going, essentially, is the main thing. It's just keep playing, keep recording music, writing music. And with that being said, it would be pretty cool to do more shows all around the world.
Tour everywhere.
I just want to go everywhere. The dream is to explore the world while we're doing it. So.
Right. Well, I feel like you've articulated this so well in so many of your tunes, including "Oh My." It's like, be in the moment, accept the now, and enjoy every stage of the way, including the looking back.
Yeah.
Well, how incredibly magical it is to have a chance to be here with you in more ways than one.
Yes.
I'm gonna pop.
I'll need to take that back.
Okay.
My magic powers can only last for a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
So
well, thank goodness you told me. That'd be pretty darn embarrassing.
Cloak.
Okay. Well, I'm going to defrock myself.
Okay.
And say thank you so much, Maria, Jonah, Jed, and the Valentine. Congratulations, and we're so grateful for your company.
Thank you so much for having us. It was great to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. This is Oh My My My.
fire smoking away. Wood was greener than the cash we didn't have that day. We left our town. Ranger said we were the loudest tent they had on the ground. Oh, just shake it out, take it in. The world moves way too fast, we're spinning. Sit right here, stay a while. In the night, turn red in the firelight, you and I. Oh, my, my, my. In my side, tall tales of a lover by my side. Oh, my, my, my. Oh, my, my, my. Kite flying away, tethered down, but that thing flew, and oh, it cut right through the gray. Under gallery, never more than ankle deep, I waded in and brought you back to me. Oh, we're falling out, fall back in. The world moves way too fast, we're losing it. Sit right here, stay a while. In the night, turn red in the firelight, you and I. Oh, my, my, my. In my side, tall tales and a lover by my side. Oh, my, my, my. Oh, my, my. Fall back in, the world moves way too fast, we're losing it. Sit right here, stay a while.